Welcome back, y'all. Siren here. Today we'll be working on the series of the healing runes and how to use them in your life to enhance them. A lot of readers and people, when they're giving you guys advice, I feel like it's not grounded in reality. So I will be giving you like actual grounded steps and how you can use these, if not just mentally or spiritually, but on the physical as well. So I won't be starting with the first rune, which is Fehu. I'll actually be starting with Uruz. Simply, this was the first rune I bonded with, the first one I bleeded or blooded, and my connection to it. Now, you may say that's strange. I'm starting with the second rune in the order of the Ayat, and the Ayat is simply like you have 24 runes, right, in the Elder Futhark, which is the set I'm using, the Elder Futhark. And the aid is divided into groupings that represent the stages of life. So the first aid deals with the story of creation of the universe, the material, like material wealth and the physical well-being and like your foundational life blessings. When you have a ruse in a reading, especially if it's not reversed, it is saying like you have physical vitality, not to be confused with like the sun, Soelu, or even Wanjo, like joy. When you are channeling Uruz, you have powerful vitality. Usually deals with male virality in the sexual organ, but this is saying like you are an adult. Um, for some of you that are younger, under the age of 18, you may be getting a ruse because you were about to have your test where you enter adulthood. And in ancient times, the way that tribes and such would give young men and women, their, especially young men, their initiation into adulthood was for the men. Not sure if women did it too, but for the men especially, they would have to go and hunt the aurochs, which is associated with this rune. I'll put an image of one up here for those of you who aren't familiar with it. But the aurochs or oryx was a bull that is now extinct. It was a real animal. It was a bull the size of an elephant, of a small elephant. And you know how big even small elephants are. They are humongous. So imagine you as a boy, you might be 16, 17, and your family sends you out there with a spear and you have to hunt down this giant thing. If you weren't able to kill it, you had to at least bring back a horn. And that was an incredible feat. There is a runic poem, what's it called? The Volglander, something like that. One of the verses is like, the aurochs, the mighty ranger of the moors. And it was a monstrous beast. The last one was hunted to extinction, I believe, like 1412 or 1612 in Europe. And one of those horns is on display in a museum over in Welsh, Germany. You guys can go check that out if you're interested. But with the ruse, before you channel this rune, before you pick it up, before you do any work with it, the first thing, which I will tell you if no one else has told you, because you will hurt yourself, is you want to purify your intention. Your mind needs to be aligned with your thoughts. Your thoughts need to be aligned with what you want to bring out onto the physical or in the spirit. And if you don't do this crucial first step, you are going to hurt yourself. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you're going to be rebuked by the power of the Oryx, the bull, and you're also going to end up with a shitty final product if it even comes out on the physical as a final product. When you're using a rune like Uruz, you are becoming like a blacksmith. You are in the forge and you're using this massive energy, this massive, powerful, masculine energy, and you need to purify yourself. This is the purification mudra. You can alternatively do it with 2 fingers connecting to your thumb. Yes, it does look like the punk rock sign. And if you know anything about the punk scene or rock in general, it is very grounded and rooted in not just purity. You may say that's cap because of how like the piercings and the tattoos and the content of the lyrics, but the root of punk culture is similar to rap. Like it's anti-establishment, it's for the people, it's family friend. You know what I mean? Like it's very for the people. Uruz is a room for the people. This is strength you use not just for yourself, but to break down the boundaries and barriers of you could say what's the word, oppression. Now this part is very important, right? You're going to want to make sure you do this every single time you call on a ruse. If you're even going to enter its domain where you put your horns down, it puts its horns down to you when you enter through the golden gate. For those of you who have done the what's it called, the rune garter, for those of you who have entered the realms, and you know you're going to purify first, at least 3 to 5 minutes. Purify your mind, your intention. Be sure you know exactly what you are asking of and want out of this room. You can also pour some life force into it. This is the life force mudra. And I will be teaching you guys Senjutsu too. But basically, you guys will want to connect to the roots of a tree and breathe through it. The tree can be in your backyard, it can be across the street, it can be in a different country. As long as you're able to visualize and connect with the roots of that tree and hold that life force and bring it in, flow in and out, you got it. So after you have purified your intentions, right, now you're ready to craft. And the reason we do this, the reason why you purify every time is, one, even though the Aurochs is no longer alive on this planet, and yes, they are trying to bring it back in through breeding programs with certain types of bulls on the physical, this is an ancient warrior. This is something that, again, is massive power, and it does have an incredible healing power, which is what we'll be talking about today. So after you've purified your intention, you are free to create. The sky is not the limit. You can go as high as you want. Just make sure your heart is in the right place. So with the rules, right, you have the potential and the capability to break down barriers, strongholds. You could say in a way, this is a road opener, or this is a rune that you want to use in road opening rituals. If you're doing a road opening, lean into the power of Uruz, or get your hands on a Uruz rune, or on a rune set in general, and invoke this rune with your road opening. The horns that you gain or that are established or a part of this rune, and you can even see it here, like, it is a doorway, yes, but these are horns. Uruz is a rune of transformation, magical transformation. So if you're competing in a contest, like a sports contest, so you're running, you're doing like a triathlon, you're doing a swimathon, whatever, you're wrestling, this is a rune you can evoke for strength. Now you don't want to overdo it, because you can you can end up hurting someone if it activates too much. It's happened before. There's been incidents where I'm not going to talk about them. But with this rune, for the healing potential you have, you want to invoke the rune garter, which is very simple. And there's music on YouTube you can find. And garter is spelled G-A-L-D-R, garter. You basically will want to get in like a guttural throat, pause. You want to, like, in like the back of your throat, meditate the word Uruz. I'm giving thanks because I can feel the difference in energy. I felt the shift already. So when you're doing your garter, right, you've already purified your intention before you started, right? Let's make sure that you've already given the life force as an offering. Now, when you're doing your garter, say you're having some reproductive issues, and even if you're a male, let's say you can't get up, or just you're having some sexual problems, you want to focus the energy of Uruz in that region of your body. So say it's your root chakra, you're struggling with your virality, or just your low energy. You want to put that energy in your, where is it, down here in your sacral motor. You want to focus your intention, your mind, on that center of the body, and then again do your garter. So I'm focusing right now on my sacral. So and already I feel a difference. It can be hard to describe these changes since this is a camera, and this camera is not necessarily able to pick up those subtle shifts. But for those of you who have the sight, or who are, you know, seers gifted naturally, you will be able to sense the energy field, or you can see how different I'm carrying myself. I feel a lot more confident now than when I first started the video approximately 10 minutes ago now. Now, Uruz is also a good room for confidence. If you're someone who has a lot of insecurities, or you're struggling in one area, maybe you are confident, but there's something holding you back from really like feeling like the main character of your life. Uruz is a room that you'll want to carry in your pocket around daily. It's something that you'll want to wear as a necklace. You can go to most metaphysical shops or spiritual shops and find a rune necklace with a ruse on it. And just in case you forgot what it looks like, this is Uruz, the Aurochs. So with healing, you also have mental. A lot of people, like you have doctors, they heal your physical body. They are usually doing stuff to heal your internal, but there's physical stuff like you have herbs, medicines, potions, elixirs, people that are into that sort of craft. You have all these physical things. Healing also needs to take place mentally. A lot of times we cannot heal because we have associations to things of the past which are harmful, and they are still harming us. It could be something that happened 10, 20, even 30 years ago for some of you that are more that are older or elders, right? This could be something that happened in the 90s, and you're what, how old would you be now? You might be in your 60s now, and you're still plagued by this memory that happened so long ago. You know, that person may no longer be with us, but you're still hurt by this memory. So if you need help like breaking down those like mental strongholds, those barriers, those blockages, things that are like like a harbinger, like sometimes we have memories that come at us like a harbinger of death and doom. And when you evoke a ruse, you can push down those brick walls. You can strong arm your way through. You can make your you can make your form strong and literally push down, blow down. Like if you imagine the big bad wolf. Now the big bad wolf can blow down a house of sticks. The big bad wolf can blow down a house of wheat. The big bad wolf can even blow down soft and clay, but the big bad wolf cannot blow down brick, stone, wood. This is the room that can do those things. So if you're having mental blockages, say it's like, oh, like you have insecurity with money, and you want to start working on challenging or changing your perception of wealth, well, work with Uruz. Invoke Uruz, of course, purifying yourself first. And if you want to offer life force, you know, your own life force, you can, or give it nature's life force from nearby plants and trees. But first, make sure you ask permission from those plants and trees. Even if this is a plant or tree you're used to working with, ask permission from nature every time before you take from it, okay? It's just a respect thing, and my druids, you know that. So this was, I don't like bringing up the past, but this was around 2017 to 19. I was having an issue with astral projection where I was astral projecting out my body against my own will. I was meditating so many hours a day that I was so connected to the spirit that I had no anchor on the physical. So while I'm sleeping or just while I'm going about my day, I would be astral projecting. And astral projection is a beautiful gift. It's fun, but there are many dangers that come with it. And the reason why it was happening, and I'll tell you guys this, I had like, because of PTSD and trauma, hey Freder, that's my cat here, y'all. He doesn't want to be on camera yet. Buddy, you're in the camera. You just want attention. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. This is Freder, y'all. He said don't say my name. He said don't say my government name. I'm sorry, buddy. Hey, buddy. Anyway, I had basically, if you want to say like a hole in the back of my subconscious that was like, imagine my mind has a hole that's blown out. And this is where I'm like trapped at, right? I started working with Uruz to like mend and heal this like it was like a schism. It was like a hole in my psyche due to all the trauma I had been through at that time, right? So I started using Uruz, and you would think, how could a bull, how could a warrior, how could something like this heal a psychological wound? PTSD is very real, right? Well, I did use Uruz to heal my PTSD, and I'm not gonna go into that, but I began like seeing myself, of course, with the rune garter, of course, purifying. I began to see myself like in this very luscious like field. It's like very green, beautiful field. And there was a herd of aurochs there. And I stepped up to one of them. I didn't challenge it. I didn't fight it. I had already passed my initiation test into adulthood, which is why I was given this rune in the first place. My first contact connection with the runes, Elder Futhark. And the aurochs put his horns down to me, and it told me to do the same. So I did the same. I, could see horns on my head. I put my horns down to the aurochs. We connected at our tips, paws of our horns, and there was a golden flash of light in a door. So I stepped through the door, and in front of me is a humongous aurochs, like in spirit form, like this great, huge spirit in front of me. And it was a lot of shadow work, but the way I healed my PTSD with this rune was like, it was part combating those forces that were keeping me stuck in that place, but it was also like, usually when people are triggered by PTSD, is fear, right? There's a lot of fear, like, oh, like someone's gonna walk in here and they're gonna shoot me, or I did this thing to that person and they're fucked up because of me. The aurochs will help you challenge those limiting beliefs. This is something that you'll have to experience. No matter how I explain it, I don't feel like I'll be able to really get the point across that I'm trying to make. But Uruz helped me heal from PTSD. I had a lot of trauma, right? Uruz really helped me heal from PTSD. That is one of the potentials of the realm. So like when you step into the realm of the aurochs, when you go through the golden gate, it's almost as if you are leaving that body of pain. And we know there are at least 7 layers of bodies. Besides the physical, you have your mental, your emotional body, your spirit body, your soul's body, your Kanba, things of that nature. You have your Ren, you have your Shut, things like that, or your Shoot, your Suit, your Sut, things like that. You're able to step outside of the body that is inflicted by that pain, and then Uruz comes in and sort of like sound effect. It kind of like and then this goes from being this huge, massive demon or this pain or this block, and it goes from this to it's out of there. That is the best. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I had a better way to. I'm really trying my best to elaborate on this. It's just things that are mystical in nature and spiritual aren't always so easy to explain in 3D terms. But yes, if you're dealing with trauma, if you're having mental blockages, you want to employ Uruz into your battles, into your mind. Let them take up space. A lot of times the reason why you keep reliving these traumas, the reason why you haven't healed is because your nervous system still remembers. Now, you may have taken the medicine, you may have drinking the tea, you may be doing yoga, you may have gone to a therapist or a reader, but until this trauma is able to transmute or move up out of your spine into higher awareness, where you can fully see and actualize, envision it, and receive the wisdom for how to move, is going to keep pinging and going back down to your root or in your feet, your earth star. It's going to keep going in your root, which is your sexual organ. And what is the root chakra associated with? Well, survival, money, things that are material. So even if you have, again, some of you have been in therapy, some of you have been taking your herbs and stuff like that, you need to focus on healing your nervous system. And something you want to employ in this battle or in this hard time is Uruz. Now, again, and let me even look in my book here. Yes, for the magical uses of this rune, you can bring new circumstances and situations into your experience. Strengthen and focus personal will. Harness the energy of sudden change to your advantage. Healing on all levels. I told you. Deeper understanding of yourself and underlying motives. What else do we have here? So for some of you that have Uruz in the reverse position, this would be like a lack of vitality. You feel drained, or you are having sexual reproductive issues. Even again, if you're a male, you may just be struggling to keep up in sex, or you're not performing well in bed, or just you may be having a host of problems. There may be illness, there may be sickness, there may be infertility. So again, employ your rules into your daily life. Um, again, I'm like thinking of how to explain this to you guys. Um, but the easiest way to work with the rules, right? If you're suspicious of it, or you don't really work with runes, or you haven't heard of them yet, I suggest you put it on your altar first, or put it in your place of worship. Let your ancestors, guides, your deities, or God scan it first, and then let them walk you through it. This is a very powerful rune. As I said, you will want to always, without question, without doubt, purify yourself, your intention. Even if that is you going and taking a spiritual bath before you work with this rune, all you have to do is hold the mudra for a few seconds, right? Purification. That's simple. Rock, the fucking rock, devil's horns, the rock, whatever. A lot of gang signs, a lot of political hand gestures and stuff, these are mudras. They're not violent, they're not gang signs, these are mudras. Meditation hand seals. So wow, that's everything I've needed to say for this video, y'all. Y'all will understand it. Y'all will understand it the more you work with this rune. Just like anything. And I will also say there's different levels to working with the runes. If you want to go deeper with me, you can email me at musesiren33@gmail.com. MUSESYREN33@gmail.com. Because if you are a beginner or an outsider to the runes, you have no connection to them, you may only be pulling a certain level of information and power from them, right? But I've said this in my readings before. Some of y'all treat these mystical items and objects like they're Pokemon, or y'all treat the spirits like there is a spirit living through these runes. Each one has a different association. Not every rune has a deity in them or a being in them, but like Uruz, the Auroch, this was a living creature. Don't treat this like it's a Pokemon. Don't treat this like this is a tool that you can just use at your disposal. Like, Aurochs, go do that. Fight this demon for me. Now, do 5 push-ups and touch your nose to the stick and I'll give you a treat. That's not how this works. These are a conduit. The runes are a conduit of symbols that work on our subconscious mind, right? Symbols work on your subconscious mind to manifest, or to bring it, to attract, to bring into fruition. The spirits dwelling within this set of runes, or in the room, in the runes period, it doesn't matter if you're using the elder Futhark, the younger Futhark, the Persian runes, the Akkadic, I don't care what culture. Have respect for the spirits in these runes. Get a nice bag to put your runes in. Velvet works best. Have a rune bag. Have a dedicated time, place, and space to communicate with the runes. Some of you have already been working with the runes. That's not the issue. For some of you, all you need to do is simply spend more time with them. Rather you go to the park or go outside. Yes, sometimes you need to take your runes with you and put them in the dirt on the ground to let them breathe, in a sense. Some of you need to sage your runes. And that is all I have for today, guys. Y'all have a great day. If you want to go more in depth with the rules and hear my personal story, again, you can email me at musesiren33@gmail.com. Peace, y'all.